What's up guys and what is up now defenders? Now, I'm going to show you and tell you the two literary arts is all about. So, let's begin in Jose Lacaba's poem called Ang Kagilagilalas na Pakikipagsapalaran ni Juan de la Cruz. But first, let us know kung tungkol saan nga ba ang tulang ito.
Ang Kagilagilalas na Pakikipagsapalaran ni Juan de la Cruz is a poem written by Jose F. Lacaba to describe the situation of the Philippines. It was in the year 1970s, during the Marcos regime. When Pete Lacaba wrote the poem, a lot of things happened during the Marcos presidency. The rise of student activism who protests against the administration of Marcos, the establishment of New People's Army, and lastly, the rise in the acts of violent experience by the public. That's why he declared the martial law in 1972, to control the public and somehow prolong his governance. Prior to that, in the early 1970s, a lot of prevailing conditions in the country happened. That's why some journalists or writers were being imprisoned. Freedom of information and expression were oppressed during that time. That's why Pete Lacaba wrote the poem and somehow summarizes the feelings of every Filipino and the situation of the Philippines.
This poem teaches us to fight and defend for our own rights. Marami tayong karapatan. Karapatan nating mabuhay. Karapatan nating makapag-aral. Karapatan nating makahanap ng tirahan. Karapatan nating bumoto. Marami tayong karapatan na dapat nating matamasa at makuha bilang isang mamamayang Pilipino. Ngayon, may inihanda kami senaryo. Let's watch this!
Hold on to. Manipag mo. Bigyan mo na yan.
Pinapakita dito na hindi dapat pinaparatangan, hulihin at ikulong ang isang tao nang wala namang matibay na ebidensya. Karapatan din niyang magpaliwanag sa presinto, kumuha ng abogado at ipagtanggol ang kanyang sarili sa korte. Overall, the poem wanted to tell us to have that courage to face life challenges. Learn how to fight for your own rights. Trust yourself and what you can do. Believe in God, and most importantly, the sense of nationalism. We should love our country and always fight for our nation. We experience a lot from the past. This serves as our motivation for pursuing for the freedom that we want. We can deny right now that we're not that independent in terms of decisions for the welfare of the country. There would be external forces that somehow dictate our own government. And that's all. Sana may natutunan kayo sa tulang Ang Kagilagilalas na Pakikipagsapalaran ni Juan de la Cruz ni Jose F. Lacaba. And the last one is Igwa by Ricky Lee. So, come on, let's G!
It was in the late 1960s and early 70s that the Philippines saw a surge in student activism. This could be chalked up to the onset of Marcos' administration and his declaration of martial law, which bore witness to 10,000 of human rights violations, among many others. There are several factors and events in the Philippine history that contributed to the increase in student activism during this period. In fact, economic decline, unemployment rates, the growth of intra-elite conflicts and internal disruption all factor into the context of student activism in the Philippines.
It was around this time that businesses in Manila tried to find opportunities to withdraw when the city started to be deemed unsafe. 5 communist-oriented guerrillas in the countryside had also regained some of the momentum similar to the Hooks, and before they were contained by Magsaysay in the 1950s. The coming of a revolution was considered a possibility waiting to happen at one point as riots and demonstrations erupted, causing colleges to be closed down. All of this culminated in an effort to storm the Malacanang.
As far back as the 1950s, the University of the Philippines has been the breeding ground of many intellectuals and radical activists. It comes as no surprise, then, that in the 1960s and 1970s, the university played an active role in conducting demonstrations, marches, and rallies to raise awareness of sectoral struggles and to campaign against the Marcos dictatorship and land reform policy, among others. Some of the clear examples of the school activism includes the ratifying of the Diliman Declaration on March 1969.
In 1971, students who formed the Diliman Commune, supported by faculty members and non-academic personnel, occupied the Diliman campus and barricaded roads to protest deteriorating conditions in the country during the administration. Salvador P. Lopez, then president, urged students, faculty, and employees to maintain the autonomy of the university as the military sought control of the campus in order to identify suspected activists and critics.
More than 4 decades have passed since the EDSA revolution, yet no one can discount the fact that it is still one of the most important events that shaped our country's history. Not only did it free the Philippines from dictatorship, it also became a clear proof of how collective efforts from people who want change can create an enormous and powerful difference. Despite exhaustive efforts to inform, it's undeniable that most of the younger generations today do not fully grasp the significance of the event celebrated every February 25. False information that is excessively disseminated online can even confuse young minds. If we want our people to remember one of the most meaningful events in our country's history, the teaching needs to come from us. We can start by telling our people of the different lessons we can learn from the EDSA revolution. Change can be achieved peacefully. Give the people a picture of what life used to be under the Marcos dictatorship and why people were so adamant to have change in the country. Express to them the feelings that were prevalent during that time: fear, doubt, and a strong desire to turn things around. Despite these strong emotions, the people did not resort to violence. Instead, the first people power was like a party more than a revolution. We can do so much more when we're united. Ask people what they can achieve when they're alone. Then ask them what they can accomplish if they have companions sharing the same goals as theirs. Freedom is worth fighting for. Let the people understand why Filipinos during the Marcos regime were so eager to see change. You can tell them what happened during the duration of martial law. For almost 20 years, President Ferdinand Marcos rules in such a way that is oppressive and repressive. Sigwa bring us back to the glory days of youth activism, when activists frequented not bars but hideouts and mountains, when they used the media not for social networking but for underground revolutionary propaganda. Sigwa shows that the freedom we all enjoy today is not to be taken for granted. It is born out of the sacrifices that countless Filipinos willingly made for the sake of our beloved Inang Bayan.